Hi, I am Jerry and Quick, and welcome back to the Mudpole Theory. I wrote the Mudpole Theory to unite and bring us closer together as a nation with the truth concerning our dark past history, so that we will know and understand the underlying causes for our division, which is the first step that we unite and bring us closer together. So that we, working together, can bring about the changes needed that will lead us into the bright new future that our children, grandchildren, and future generations deserve. I grew up very, very poor in a small rural city in Alabama. I can still remember when my father would wake me and my brother up on the weekends to go help him do side jobs that he had so that he could earn additional money to provide support for the family. Even though we were not thrilled about being gotten up early on the weekend to help, we knew that it was earn additional income to support the family. Unlike children of today, we never asked to be paid for the work we did because we knew that, in the long run, the additional income was to provide for and support the family, including the two of us. My father, nor would my mother, ever take handouts to support us. My father firmly believed that you earned what you got paid, and that any job worth doing was worth doing right. This is the same principles that I have advocated to my children and now advocate to my grandchildren. I always taught my children that if they wanted to improve their lifestyle, that they would have to start at the bottom and work their way up. The main key to working their way up the corporate ladder was through hard work, dedication, loyalty, and education. For the most part, I believe that my children will learn the lesson well, and that my grandchildren will learn the same principles through them. In my last video, I discussed socialism, and if it wasn't clear, I'm not a proponent of socialism. Based on the way I was brought up, I don't believe that anything is free and that you earn your pay by the fruits of your labor, which is a basic principle behind capitalism. Capitalism is defined as, quote, an economic system based on private ownership of the means of production and their operation for profit. Characteristics central to capitalism include private property, capital accumulation, wage labor, voluntary exchange, a price system, and competitive markets. Prices and the distribution of goods and services are mainly determined by competition in a goods and services market, end quote. Simply put, prices are determined in a free market where companies compete for the business. This is different than a socialistic market where business is ran and prices are controlled by the government. While the socialists strongly oppose and criticize capitalism, quote, provides better products and innovation through competition, dispenses wealth to all, and I'll emphasize is productive people, provides pluralism and decentralization of power, which basically means it takes the power and control out of the hands of the government, creates strong economic growth, and yields productivity and prosperity that greatly benefits society, end quote. It has also been shown historically to, quote, promote economic growth as measured by gross domestic product, GDP, capacity utilization, or quality of living. In my last video, I stated that we now live in a materialistic society where we prize our material possessions. The question is, why would you want to make changes to the system that, while it may need some minor changes, is an economic system that we have prospered under almost 200 years? My main support for capitalism is that it is not only creates competition in the marketplace, but it also creates competition in the workforce to become more educated and more qualified to do the work, regardless of whether it is a high-skills job or a labor job. Not only is that good for business, This also provides the incentive and motivation to the workers to improve their individual job skills, which in turn lead to a better quality product. It would be great if the term "Made in America" had a special meaning again. Quote, "Make America great again," end quote. In a socialistic economy, the incentive and motivation to improve would not be there. A professor at UC Berkeley, of all places, did an experiment with his students to demonstrate to them what socialism is. He took all the grades in the class and averaged them out and gave each student the exact same grade. On the next test, he did the same thing, but this time the overall grade average was much lower. Since the students making the best grades made the same grades as everyone else, they don't have the incentive and motivation to study and put forth the effort to make good grades. Walter E. Williams, a black man who writes articles for the Daily Signal and a good friend of Thomas Sowell, said it best when he said, quote, "Whereas a society headed that holds its most productive members up to ridicule and scorn and makes mascots out of its least productive and most parasitic members," end quote. While motivation, dedication, and education may not guarantee you success every time, it doesn't mean that you won't succeed. However, it does provide you with the opportunity and skills to eventually succeed, provided you don't give up. And the Stanford Center on Poverty and Equality report that I had referred to in my video on economics inequality, it stated that technology was having an effect on income and jobs. And that is something that I have been concerned about for the past several years. My oldest son, who is a computer technician who has done automation work for Walmart, Sam's Club, and other similar companies, told me that while it did have some effect on the loss of jobs, that it would require someone trained in that field, and the jobs would actually pay more. He also told me about other jobs that were being automated in the fast food industry. Robots are being designed to cook and prepare food for customers. Of course, according to him, those robots were still being developed and they probably wouldn't be on the market for several more years. In watching videos on YouTube, I have become aware that there are a lot of people that are making substantial incomes on the internet. Not only can an income be generated on YouTube by posting videos, but there are those that are generating income through their websites as associate marketing by selling other people's products on their sites. The internet has opened up so many opportunities to generate a rather good income for people while working from their homes. According to Dave Ramsey, an economist and financial advisor, 88% of the millionaires today in the United States are first-time millionaires. In other words, these millionaires were not born into wealth, but had become wealthy through the fruits of their own labor. Based on what I know about socialism, this could not happen. While capitalism may not be perfect, as I stated earlier, it has worked for the past 200 years or so, and we have prospered. In my last video and in this video, I made the statement that, with a few changes, capitalism can be improved, which could increase the odds that you can still be competitive and be very, very successful, something which is very unlikely under a socialist economy. There's a term that I have used and I have heard used called crony capitalism that we the people can address and make changes that will either get rid of or minimize its effect. Crony capitalism has been defined as, quote, an economy in which businesses thrive not as a result of risk, but rather as a return on money amassed through a nexus between business class and the political class. While this is done on a lower scale where government will favor one business over another business, my biggest concern is how our financial policies and laws can be used to manipulate and control our economy to benefit large businesses while putting restrictions on small businesses so that small businesses cannot compete in the same economic marketplace. Even though there are laws that are being passed which benefit corporate America with very little, if any, benefit to small businesses, corporate America has other advantages over small businesses that make it hard for small business to be competitive, even without the laws. Since corporate America sells a far larger quantity of goods than does small businesses, the cost in shipping for the goods are far less than the same cost in shipping that are paid by small businesses. So they have to sell the same, so the small business has to sell the same products at a higher cost. Since most of us, including myself, are interested in buying the same product at a cheaper cost, we usually will buy the product from corporate America and not from the store down the street. Of course, if we did decide to shop local and purchase those goods from a local business, that would greatly help. But in reality, most people are going to shop for the savings to stretch their budget and not to support local small businesses. Over the years, there have been those that have overcome the barrier and have been able to compete with corporate America and have been very, very successful. A perfect example of someone who has overcome the odds is Jeff Bezos, who is the founder and CEO of Amazon. Recently, it was reported that he is now the richest man in the world with a net worth of $117 trillion. However, there are those, including me, that would dispute that he is the richest man. When I do my video on the Federal Reserve Bank, I will give you some information that will provide you with some food for thought. Jeff Bezos provides information that can help determine his net worth, while there are those that there's no information available. Thus there's no way to determine their net worth. This then brings me to the financial policies that are being manipulated and controlled to not only benefit corporate America, but also benefit the financial institutions. Since I plan on going into a more detailed discussion of the financial policies when I discuss the Federal Reserve Bank, suffice it to say that the financial policies plays a lot bigger role and is very important concerning the future of this great country of ours than you think. You may have also noticed that I did not go into a lot of detail concerning the laws. I knew that a detailed discussion would be very, very lengthy and may be hard to understand. Even though I am a lawyer, while I am familiar with some of the laws, my law practice did not require that I focus my attention on these particular laws. So I have to be honest and admit that my knowledge on these laws are very limited. Hopefully, we will have those who will leave comments that will teach and inform us concerning those laws and the changes needed. Thanks for watching. I not only hope that you have enjoyed this video, but I hope that you have learned something that will be beneficial to you in the future. I also hope that this video will motivate and encourage you to do your own research to learn the truth. Please like and subscribe below and feel free to share this video. I not only welcome, but I also encourage you to leave your meaningful and constructive comments below so that we can have a meaningful and constructive conversations, discussions, and our dialogues that are needed for us to get to know and understand one another better so that we can unite and bring us closer together as a nation. Working together, we can bring about the changes needed to carry us into the bright new future that is just over the horizon, something which our children, grandchildren, and our future generations deserve. I also invite you to visit my website, themudpolotheory.com, and subscribe to receive my newsletter. Go to my store page where you can click on the Amazon icon and order the Mud Polo Theory through Amazon. You can also order the Mud Polo Theory through Barnes & Noble online, Books A Million online, and you can have your local bookstore order the Mudpole Theory through Ingram Publishers. Thanks again for watching. God bless America.